Greetings YouTube. This is a stool, has a cute little handle like this, and this was salvage, cost me nothing. I want to do something else with that. Say hello to the bunny. This is a piece of storage I've just installed, and these two metal brackets I got here are salvage. They came in this shape. All I had to do is deburr the bottom a little bit. They have two holes in the top for screws. I don't know what they were originally. Now they're holding up some shorter pieces for me up here, and I would like to use that stool to create a similar lower down for longer pieces. This is a 4-foot piece, so I would like to get those to be as wide as I can, so like here and here, but I want to go through this double thickness of wood so that I can use a decent length wood screw on it. And I think I already know which I want to use. I think I have the screws already that I need. We're going to have to take the thing apart. So what I want to do, let's get this up here so I can show you. I could be able to do this one-handed. There we go. All right, so I want to deconstruct this thing, taking all these fasteners out, and I want to use these holes here to help hold it to the wall. They're at a slight angle, so I'm not 100% sure how well that's going to work. We're going to find that out. And if they don't work well with me, I will just drill new holes here, perpendicular or in line with the length. We're going to find out if those work. If they work, that saves me a bunch of money, a bunch of time. And this being much larger, I may need some supports under it to keep it from flopping down, because it was never intended to do the kind of work I'm doing it, and the tubing is not a piece of tubing here. It is a flat. So, whoop, and as it's also falling, it's a flat there. So it's not going to be as structurally sound in the center as far as carrying a load is as would a piece of tubing. So if that is necessary, I will come off of probably the top like this, because if I can come from here to the top of the tube, that way I can keep this space down here clear, which I have currently been using for this bin right there, as well as a couple of other things that I've been leaning up against this. And also it means that I can then use these lower sections for potentially doing something similar in the future. I haven't decided yet, but at the moment I have these particular brackets available to me for nothing. So that's already installed. Sorry, it's kind of dusty. I've been moving stuff around. So now I got to see if I can do the same thing here, and if I have to, I will come off the top to act as a security, and then find some way of attaching those pieces of tubing from here to the top. I may very well use some of the tubing that's already here, because it's, again, free, so, and it already has some holes in it, so that may make my life a little easier. We'll see how that goes. But the first thing I got to do is deconstruct this, take these feet off, because I can always use these feet for something else in the future, and then see what we got. So first thing, let's take this thing apart. So I've disassembled the stool, and this is coming out way too far. It's just way too far. It takes up too much space. It's going to be cumbersome. I wanted it to be a little bit further out than that, but not this much. So this is what I thought I might do. If I cut them off right at that union right here, so just right at that slope, just so I got that much left over, and I put a bead, I put a level of, I put some angle iron on that wall, that still leaves me enough space to bolt them down. Or I should say bolt them up, because I want to have the flat spot, so that'll be on the bottom there. A little odd, I know, but so this thing will be coming up from the bottom here, sitting flat on that. So that will be cool. And then I'm definitely going to have to come off the top to the wall to give it a little bit additional support, because otherwise it's just going to have that, and that's not going to be enough support to hold anything. And I will cut off and use this piece, because this piece has fewer holes in it, so it has the potential for being used in more ways in the future, and I won't have to modify this piece on this section here at all, and I will have to put a hole here once I figure out how I want to attach it at the top. But the first thing I'm going to need to do is get this thing set up so that I know what I want, how I want it attached, so I can do a dry fitting. So do everything like this, do a dry fitting, and then I can figure out the top. That'll be the best thing I can do. And I still have the handle itself, which it's not going to be useful in this project, but it's a piece of tubing. I can always find a use for a piece of tubing. So let's get this thing cut. Let's get myself a piece of channel stock, which L bracket, which I think I may have a piece that's the right size anyway. I'm going to go check my supplies, and if I don't, it's an easy process to get one of those. Is just cut it to length. And then hopefully I can get this thing set up on the wall and we can start making some measurements and figuring out how I want this to be attached and such, so that I can get a dry fit and then know what the hell's going on. So here we have the dry fit. Because these are asymmetric, one will be on the bottom and one will be on the top. I don't care that they're slightly skewed. They're not skewed by much because they are designed for this, so I'm not going to sweat it. I'm just storing bulk items here. So I moved everything down slightly. That gives me a little bit more room here. I don't want to go past this lally column. But also it meant that I could get a 3-inch wood screw into a beam. There's a vertical beam down there. That this is just a piece of old, it looks like an old barn door or something. I don't know what it is, but it was here when I moved in. So I used 3 shorter wood screws on here, but they don't go through. They're not long enough to go through both of these, so we're good. This is level enough for me. I drew a line with the level and then tried to get it as close as I could to it. Pre-drilled all the holes so that the screws would have an easy time of getting in. So now that I have this set up like here, I think I'm going to go cheap and dirty here. I'm not going to get complex. So what am I going to do? I'm going to drill a hole on one side of this in line, and I'm going to put a chain from here to here. That's it. I'm going to put a chain that will hold this up and keep the weight from going down. So I will have this once it's finally attached. This is just hand fit. I'll have that for the bottom and then that for the top, and that should give me all the support I need for the items I'm putting on here. I'm not putting huge steel blocks up here. I'm putting tubes, steel, aluminum, some wooden shafts, some things like that on this. So that should cut it. As well as I think I have a couple of boards I may want to put up here just to get them out of the way. I don't know if I have one wide one that I don't know if this is going to be wide enough for. We'll find that out. Or I guess I could put it vertically against there if I wanted to. So yeah, so that is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to take these off, drill one hole, figure out, put some kind of an S hook up here, piece of chain, and then link it all up, and then we should be good to go. So hopefully next shot will be a finished process. So there we go. That is the completed process. I put that in this morning. I didn't think it would be all that interesting to show you folks that it was just putting in 4 screws. And then I put this in here, which is a little bit more interesting because I took a scrap stool and turned it into something more useful. Now, not only does this clean up floor space, which is, at a premium in my basement, but it puts things out in the open where I can see them. And that's really important because if I can't see them, I can't think about using them in projects. So now I've got all kinds of stuff in here. Materials, aluminum tube, steel tube, broom handles, wood, that's pine, that's hardwood. So I've got a field hockey stick kicking around. So these are all things that could be potential project material, but now that I know they're here, I am more likely to think of them or come up with ideas that could utilize these things. It also shows me that at the minute I don't need to buy any more relatively short pieces of tubing and or shafts. I've got myself covered. Though I will be using up some of the balusters that are kicking around in here right now. There might be one in there too. Because I have to come over here, and now I have space cleaned up here so that I can now continue this down to the floor. that some of the stuff that's on that top one was here, which is why I wanted to move it. I was able to then slide this cabinet to the left, so now it is as far to the left as it can go, and now I have space where I could put in probably 4 more of those. I'll see, maybe 5. We'll see how many I can squeeze in there. But I'd like to get 4 more, at least get 4 more in there. I just need to find a piece of wood I had been used as my spacer. I don't know what the heck I did with it. Or come up with another piece of wood that's used as a spacer, because that was very convenient when it came to laying out where the brackets for those things went. But yep, so there is some wall storage that I am very happy with. Sorry about the shadow lighting in my down here in the basement isn't the best. It is what it is. I'm currently working on improving the stuff in the work area. I've already got 2 new LED lights up there, and they are able to be strung together. So I'm going to be putting in probably 6 more of those over the next few months. But I think I can be able to afford to pick up 1 or 2 of those a week, and then just keep adding them in until I get lighting everywhere down here, which is going to be so nice. I also have some more storage projects coming up, which I'm looking forward to as well, because that will get even more stuff off the floor and onto a wall, because I'm going to have to build a small wall for that purpose. So here we go, folks. Hope that you found this interesting, and I hope that you folks will come back for the next video.